Hello, my dear creative friend. So today, you and I are going to take off. We have been experimenting and doing different things with these creative sparks, and I think that today we are ready to figuratively and literally fly. Are you ready? I know you are. Enjoy. Taking off. Before taking off, move the stick and rudder bar to their fullest limit, so as to see that they are working freely and correctly. Accidents have happened in the past and will continue to happen because pilots have taken off with controls locked or faultily connected by ground engineers, who are human and liable to make mistakes like everybody else. The purpose of taking off is to get into the air as quickly and as safely as possible. It is therefore necessary to take off into wind. Because the speed at which the aeroplane is airborne is dependent on airspeed. Suppose, for example, the takeoff speed, the speed at which the machine is airborne, is 45 miles an hour, and there is a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing. By taking off into the wind, the ground speed at the moment of takeoff would be only 25 miles an hour. Whereas by taking off downwind, the ground speed would be 65 miles an hour. There are other reasons for taking off into wind, which need not be explained here, but which relate to the question of safety. If you are taking off from an aerodrome, there will be indicators, like a windsock or smoke trail, which will tell you the direction of the wind. But if there is no such provision, you must determine the direction of the wind before you get into the plane. Having once determined it, taxi to that position of the aerodrome, which will give you the longest run into wind. It is a very good rule always to take off with the maximum distance possible clear ahead of you. Do not, for instance, start your takeoff from the middle of the aerodrome, although there may be plenty of room for you to get off. Go to the far boundary and use the whole aerodrome. By doing this, you will have maximum chance of pulling off a successful forced landing in the event of a sudden engine failure. If you use the whole aerodrome, you will be twice as high above the far boundary as if you used only half. Having arrived at the correct position, take a good look ahead to see that your way is clear, and a look behind to see that no aeroplanes are coming in. If there is one approaching, wait for it to land before you start your takeoff. See that you are pointing direct into wind. For taking off, the trail trim is put forward to a point about 3/4 along the quadrant. This is to help you with your stick in getting the tail as you gather speed. Now all is ready. Push the stick forward as far as it will go and slowly ease the throttle forward until it will not go any further. The engine is then giving full power, and you always use full power when taking off. The throttle lever is so arranged that it will stay in any position as it's put. But it is a good idea when taking off to keep your hand on it, so as to be sure that you are getting maximum power from your engine. Otherwise, there is just a possibility the lever may slip back a little. Unless you are careful, the machine will tend to swing as you take off. This is due to overcorrection on your part of the rudder. Before you become experienced, you must concentrate really hard on keeping dead straight. Before the machine gathers a lot of speed, the rudder control will be comparatively sloppy, like it is when taxiing. But as the speed increases and the airstream over the rudder increases, less and less movement of the rudder bar is needed to correct the tendency to swing. The simplest way to steer a straight course is to choose some objects of the far boundary and steer straight for it. Or you might find it easier to choose some distant cloud. This is sometimes easier because you can see it without leaning your head out to the side of the cockpit to look ahead. The main thing is to anticipate the nose turning to the right or left rather than wait until it has done so and then putting on a lot of rudder to correct it, which probably means starting a swing in the other direction. Keep calm and concentrate on keeping straight, and it will be all right. Whew, I don't know about you, but that was thrilling just to read. And obviously, having experienced flying, not from a pilot standpoint, just as a passenger, you know how much of a power and thrill that moment of takeoff is. So you see how precise it has to be. What has this inspired inside you, my friend? Do share with me in the comments. And have a beautiful sunny day.